Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the top 3 things you need to do before selling your business. So the first and most important thing to do before selling your business is you have to have clean books. You have to have clean financials. All of your accounting needs to be in order, your profit and loss statements, anything that you might have on your balance sheet. All of those items, they need to be clean for at least the past 3 years. So that sounds like a long time, but it's really not. That is going to be what buyers are looking for, is clean financials for the last 3 years. Now, what do I mean by clean financials? I mean removing non-business expenses from things that are being considered as a business expense by you. So this could be maybe a boat that you bought, and you bought the boat with the business, with the philosophy that you're going to take clients out on the boat, and it's a way for you to gin up new business. Now, technically, whether you can write that boat off or not from your business is between you and your accountant. That's a discussion you have to have with your accountant. But for cleaner financials, if a buyer comes in and they see that you have written off a boat to the business, they're going to wonder if you really did use that boat for 100% business purposes. And once they start asking those types of questions, they're going to question other things that they normally wouldn't question that would be normal. So that's one primary example of something that you really need to clean up in your books moving forward before you sell your business. Another thing that you would need to remove would be a company vehicle that you have charged to the business. Now, if this is a true company vehicle, it's used 100% of the time. Maybe it's a service truck or a delivery truck, something along that lines, completely understandable. That doesn't cause any red flags anywhere. What I'm talking about is a company vehicle. Maybe your spouse has a company vehicle, or one of your children or an aunt or an uncle has a company vehicle, but it's really not being used as a true company vehicle. Again, those things, you have to be careful with those. Again, whether you can write those off or not, that's between you and your accountant. But for business financials, buyers don't like to see a whole lot of things like that. Now, there are ways you can add those back into the value of the business, but the more you have to add back, the more questions future buyers are going to ask about your expenses. Another thing might be a company credit card. If you're using the company credit card for what it's designed for, supplies, inventory items, true company expenses, business meals, that's fine. But if you've given your child or your daughter or your son or your spouse, if you've given them a business credit card and they're charging whatever they want to on there, that's going to pull from your financials. That is not going to make your business look as profitable as it truly is. Get that stuff cleaned up and get that out of those financials so buyers don't ask any more questions about it. Another one that we see common is vacations. You take a vacation, you maybe go to Florida, or you go overseas to a beach in Mexico or Turks and Caicos, and you charge it off to the business as a business expense. Maybe you went and met with a local business person there in the place that you vacationed, so you could write it off as an expense. I think we all know what true business vacations are and what true business vacations are not. Don't start to try to incorporate things that are not true actual business expenses. Again, we can add those types of things back in if they are true expenses, so we can add it into the profitability of the company. But anything questionable, you need to make no questions about it. Okay, so the number 2 thing that you need to do before you sell your business is you need to remove yourself from the business. Now, what do I mean by removing yourself from the business? The more a business is tied to you as the owner, then the less valuable it's going to be to a potential buyer. Why is that? Because when you sell the business, the buyer buys the business, but they're not buying you. They have to fill your role somehow, whether that's with them as the buyer, going to be the new you, or they might need to hire a manager or a production manager or office manager or whatever your sole role was. They're going to need to hire somebody to fill that role. If you can remove yourself from the business, then it can be more of a turnkey operation and you open your business up to a larger pool of buyers. So specifically what I mean by that, there are two types of buyers of businesses. Those that are buying business to play an active role in the business. They want to participate in the day-to-day of the business itself, or at least a majority of it. They want to come in every morning, they want to work, they want to go home in the evening, and they want to play an active role in the business. Your other type of buyer, your second type of buyer, is somebody that wants a completely passive role in the business. They want to hire somebody else, or they want to have somebody else that runs the day-to-day. They want to sit back, they want to collect the check, and maybe they'll provide some loose guidance here and there if they think the manager might be a little confused on something. But other than that, they really don't want to play an active role in the business. So if you want to incorporate both of those types of buyers, if you want to incorporate the type of buyer that's going to be in there every day, working in the business actively, and the type of buyer that's going to be in, not be in the business every day, they're going to be passive in it, you need to remove yourself from the business. When you're removed from the business and you have somebody in place to do what you were doing, you have now opened your doors to not only the active business owner, but to the passive business owner as well. And buyers will pay much more money for a business that they don't have to run themselves. If it's running on its own with occasional input from the buyer or from the new owner of it, those companies are going to be more valuable to the buyers, and you're going to have a larger pool of buyers. Okay, now the third thing that you need to do before selling your business is you need to give yourself time. I often get asked, how far out should I start thinking about selling my business? I can tell you right now, 6 months, a year, that is not long enough. Ideally, you need 2-3 years before to start preparing your business for sale. That allows you to do all 3 of these things that we discussed. That allows you to start removing yourself from the business, start training somebody up to fill your role. You pay them, and your business is still profitable. Then you open it up to the larger pool of buyers. That also allows you to clean up your finances. You'll have 3 years of clean finances. You'll have 3 years of clean taxes, tax returns to show to your buyers, because all of the buyers are going to want to know, I need to see at least the last 3 years. Some may even want last 5 years of taxes, but many will actually want 3 years of taxes. They'll want 3 years of your profit and loss statement. They'll want 3 years of your balance sheet. They want to know how much money your business is bringing in. They want to see the items that you're spending money on specifically, and they want to see how much money the business is truly taking home. So in order to relay all of the specifics of your business to a new buyer, you really need 3 years. 2 kind of at a minimum. 1, you're putting yourself in a pinch unless you have everything clean. If you run your business 100% of the time, completely clean financials, you're already removed from the business, then you really don't need that long to set it up. We can go through, we'll look at your financials, everything looks good, we can start getting the marketing packet ready to go. So if you have been running your business a little loose, give yourself more time. If you're still using an Excel spreadsheet to track everything for your business, we're going to need closer to that 3-year mark so that we can get your financials in the proper accounting software. And all that sounds more complicated than it is, because we have people that are ready and they're available, and that's all they do is these types of things to help you get your business ready for sale. So again, kind of the looser you are on your financials and how you run your business, that means you need to start at least 3 years out. Really, you need to start 3 years out, start sealing things up. If you run a tight business, that's less that we need to get those things sealed up. Okay, now number 4. I'm going to go into number 4 as a bonus here. So if you are a service-related business, this is who number 4 is for. So if you're a service-related business, you need recurring revenue in order to bring the maximum sales price for your business. Now, what do I mean by recurring revenue? It's exactly what it sounds like. It's revenue that you receive every month or every quarter, no matter what goes on. It's guaranteed as long as the customer stays with it. So, a prime example, let's talk about an HVAC company, a heating and air conditioning company. They have what are called service contracts. So you're on a quarterly, a semi-annual, or you're on an annual subscription plan, basically, where every quarter or semi-annually, they'll come out, they'll check your air conditioner, they'll test everything, make sure it's running well. You pay a certain fee. There may even be memberships associated with it. So if you're a member of this service plan, you might get a discount on services throughout the year. You may get priority handling. So if you call in, you go to the top of the list if you're having an issue with your air conditioning or your heating system. So those types of things, that recurring revenue or any type of subscription model, maybe it's a retail company. You have a membership to your store that if people have joined the membership, they get a certain amount of access to sales every month, or they get a coupon for 25% off every month. And maybe it costs them $100 a year to be a member of your retail store, but they know they're going to get the best deals out there that your store has to offer. So the more recurring revenue, the more subscription-based income that you have, that is a huge plus for buyers when they're looking for businesses to buy. All right, thank you for listening today. My name is Steve Remy with Maverick Business Advisors. I can be reached on my cell phone at 972-369-4156, or you can always email me with steven@txmaverick.com. Thanks, and stay Maverick.